Hey guys, welcome back. Orabomb here, and that's right, Sword and Shield deck profiles. We're doing this probably a lot earlier than what most would expect. The set comes out early February. I believe the first February is February 7th. February. That's how you say that, right? February. That's a weird word. But anyways, I believe the set first comes out February 7th. That's going to bother me. But it's the middle of December and we're uploading this already. The reason is because school's out. I have time to do this and my friends really want to test Sword and Shield. And as of now, we pretty much know with translations of every card that's going to be in the set. Maybe we're missing like a handful that maybe I'm forgetting some, but for the most part, we know pretty much every card that's going to be in our Sword and Shield set, and this is looking like a fun set for sure. Pokemon Vs are being introduced, V Maxes, just big basics again. We're back, but now we have evolution support and all that good jazz. Today we're going over Morpeko. Before we get into the video though, thanks to our lovely sponsors at Guardian Gaming, we will be giving away, of course, a booster box of Sword and Shield when it does come out. As well as a bunch of codes for the set. Sorry for clearing my throat. I just ate some food. It was delicious. And to see if there's anything else. I think that's it for the time being. Until we get like more promos and mats to give out. We're going to be giving that out. Probably more stuff to be announced here soon. So in order to win that stuff, all you got to do is like the video and answer the comment question of the day or leave any comment really. Today's comment question of the day is going to be, who's your favorite Gen 7 Pokemon? I'm just going to start doing that since Gen 7 is so new. And Morpeko, I'm not going to lie to you guys, he is a proud member, a valiant, strong member of the Aura Army. He's a high-ranking officer in the Orabomb Industries. Sure, that's the one I want to use. Because, first of all, if you have not seen the official artwork of Morpeko, this man has pockets. He's got pockets. He's out here. He has a hangry mode, which is just so relatable. And, of course, he learns the attack Aura Wheel in the game. And Aura Bomb, Aura Wheel, like, he's the cog. He's the cog in our machine. This is our boy Morpeko. So I had to do this first. Also, because the original set of decks that we wanted to do first ended up going down the drain because we forgot we were playing with like a 58 card deck. That aside though, let's go over Morpeko. This is going to be Morpeko Dolls. This is a very popular deck in Japan and for good reason. It's really, really strong and it was something I was looking forward to ever since I saw this card. So if you guys don't know what Morpeko does, we're playing 3 Morpekos here. It has 170 HP. I'm going to have the English scan thingy looking translation over here, but its first attack does 20 and 20. 20 to one of your opponent's Pokemon, so it's not too bad. It's a 2 retreat cost, 170 HP, which is pretty low, but it's one of these rats, so it is to be expected, right? Weak to fighting, no resistance, but its second attack is what's so cool. We have hit and run, but it's now an Oko attack. On an electric type, it's ridiculous. It does 150 damage, and then you may discard an energy from this Pokemon, and switch this Pokemon. It's a forced effect, by the way. You discard when you attack with this Pokemon, you discard an energy from this Pokemon and switch it with one of your bench Pokemon. So you have to switch every time. You don't really get a choice. But thanks to Clefairy Doll or Lily's Pokédoll, you have a really safe switch in that can obviously work to your advantage. And it does 150 damage, and it's an electric type, which means you get Electro Power. And you get Tapu Koko, and you get Thunder Mountain Prism, and you get all the good lightning stuff that comes with being an electric type. So we have a hit and run deck that is an Oko machine, which is really, really, really exciting because that may sound simple, but it's so strong and effective. So I'm excited about this. It doesn't have to be Okos every time as well. You can always do the 2-hit KO thing. Hitting 150 damage is just really good in general. 180 with, obviously you can make a 190 with a Fine Band. There are lots of cool things you can do with this deck. So we are going to be exploring the Morpeko option. And because, you know, we have it, we might as well play it. Our first VMAX card. So if you guys don't know what Vs do, I guess we should be an introduction to Vs. These are non-GX Pokemon, but they still give up 2 prizes, which is kind of relevant because being a non-GX Pokemon means that you actually can't Great Catcher this Morpeko. You have to use Custom Catcher to pull it up, which is pretty important because not being able to be pulled up so easily is why this deck is so good. When your only search option, when your only gusting option are things like Ninetales or Custom Catcher or Poke Catcher, because that's back in the format with this set, then these Morpekos are a lot safer on the bench than like a GX would be. So it's actually kind of relevant. And we do have Morpeko VMAX. So these give up 2 prizes. The VMAXs give up 3. 300 HP. Its attacks are not the hit and run. This one does 180 and then 20 damage to all your opponent's Pokemon. It's a 1 retreat cost, and it's important that it has 300 HP because obviously being 300 HP means it's really difficult to OHKO this thing. So if you're in a position to where you don't want to lose your Morpeko, you don't want it to be knocked out, you don't want to lose the game because they can just gust it up and take a knockout on it, or it's like you're forced to switch into a Pokemon, you can always switch, you can always Gigantamax, or I guess in this case Dynamax your Morpeko. You can VMAX your Morpeko and make it so high HP that in most cases you will not be knocked out. So we are playing 1 Morpeko VMAX. Now everything else is kind of support for this strategy. The strategy is really strong and effective, so we're just here to maximize it. 4 Jirachi. Of course, not all the players own 4 Jirachi. You don't have to play 4 Jirachis. You can play any other bench sitter, any other consistency card. There's a new Oranger that lets you look at the top card of your deck and trade it with 1 card in your hand. That helps a lot when you play Marnie, which we are playing Marnie, which we are playing Marnie in this set, in this deck. There's always Zebstrika if you want to go the Zebstrika route. You discard a lot of cards with Zebstrika, so I'm not the biggest fan of Zebstrika, but this is just a really strong pivot with the skateboard, of course. We all know what Stellar Wish does. Broken card. Here it is, just in case you want to pause the video. So we're playing one of those, and then a bunch of 1-ups here. We have 1 Mew to protect your bench from sniping. Cramorant is a card that does 160 to one of your bench Pokemon. Obviously, you can combo that with like some other way to spread damage on the board, whether it's Mew itself or Zigzagoon or something, and obviously you can get knocked out. There's also still Naganadel GX that can snipe 170. So you want to make sure you have a Mew. You can even increase this to 2 of count of Mew. Side power is actually pretty good when you're trying to set up numbers for this thing to be for Pokemon to be knocked out from Morpeko. We are also playing a Coco Prism because of the electric deck, and Coco Prism is good. And we are also playing an Absol because Disruption is the name of the game in this deck, as well as being able to, hit and run. So that's it for the Pokemon line. Of course, I want to know if you guys have any other ideas for Pokemon we can play in this deck. This is what I'm playing for the time being. The deck space it's kind of tight, but there's like some leeway for a few cards. We did a bunch of testing with this, and I'm very happy with the results of this deck so far. As you saw from the video, it decimates Blounds. Which if you don't like Blounds, then there you go. Anyways, let's go over the trainers now. The items, there's a lot of them. It's a lot more than I'm thinking that there we go. Perfect. All right, we got Quick Ball. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have basic search now. Discard 1, put a basic Pokemon from your deck to your hand. This is amazing. You can get your Jirachi, your Mew, your Absol, your Morpeko. You can get your GX Pokemon and your non-GX Pokemon. You can get your V Pokemon. You can get all your basics. We have it. I'm so happy. The game has been so much more fun to play just because this card was introduced. Having basic search has made decks just way more fun, way more viable. Think about all the decks that are viable now because of this card. Soul Valley is a thing. You can search for type nulls now. Same with like Larvet, like that Volcarona Soul Valley deck. Hello, friend. You don't have to play cards like Fan Club and stuff. Like, it's so good. I'm so happy. Such a good boy. 4 Electro Powers because we are Morpeko and we like lightning. So we're playing 4 Electro Powers. 4 Custom Catchers because we don't actually do a lot of discarding in this deck, so collecting Custom Catchers are pretty easy. And it's our ideal way of gusting now. It's going to be a little bit ghetto, but we got 4 Pokédolls. I have 1 backwards one because apparently I only own 3, and I don't know, I couldn't find a 4th one, and none of my friends had one on hand, so we're playing with 4. And everything else is, not everything else. We got a couple 2-ofs. 2 Pokegears because we want to play a supporter every turn. We actually have some pretty, the supporters in this deck support the strategy a lot, so it's good that we have them. So it's good that we find them. 2 switches for, being able to switch around. 2 Reset Stamp. Oh, that's a proxy. So I'll put the real one on top. So whenever you guys take screenshots of this, it's less confusing. 2 Escape Board. And then a bunch of 1-ups. Move these all up. There we go. Not a bunch, we only have 3. We got 1 Counter Gain because Morpeko's attack is for a Lightning colorless. So as you can see, it's really easy to attack with Morpeko super quickly. We have 1 Stadium Nav because we can Volkner it to get our Thunder Mountain Prism. And 1 Great Catcher, which is another card that we can Volkner up or Rosa up that's able to gust up things like the Dene. But look, it's a 3 attack cost, right? At first, this seems kind of hefty, but we have Counter Gain if we go behind. We have Stadium Navigator that can get us Thunder Mountain Prism. We have Coco Prism that essentially will let us attach 2 energies a turn. So it's easy enough in one turn to burst out 2 energies on this thing, and 2 energies, and then either use a counter gain or a Thunder Mountain or something. So attacking with this thing really quickly is not that difficult, and that's what makes it great. But there's also you also have the leeway of not needing to, because you don't mind going behind on prizes because of counter gain. Excuse me. And you also don't mind just giving your opponent a few dolls to eat up. The cool thing about this deck is that we don't have to recover our dolls, because by the time we run out of dolls, we should have already have done significant damage to their board or even won the game, because you do so much damage for this in this hit and run deck that you're not worried about running out of Pokemon to go into. So that's going to be it as far as the trainers go. Let's go over. We also play 1 Thunder Mountain. I'm going to put that on the side because it's our only stadium, and I'm not too worried about going over it anymore, because we got to go over the supporters. 4 Volkner, being able to get you a lightning energy, so you have an attachment, because you're gonna kind of want one every turn. And then also being able to get you Electro Power, Switch, a Lily Pokédoll, counter gain. There's a lot of different combo pieces. Custom Catcher, a Quick Ball, even a Great Catcher, a Stadium Nav to get you a Thunder Mountain. Like the trainers in this deck make this deck strong. So Volkner makes this deck really strong. Of course, we have 2 Marnie. I actually really like, after I haven't personally play tested with it yet, but I've been playing against a lot of decks that have like 3 or 4 copies of this in their deck, and I've been really liking it so far. It's you both players shuffle their cards in their hand, just shuffle their hand, and then they put their cards to the bottom of the deck, and then the person who played this card draw 5, and the opponent draws 4. So it's a stronger judge. Now, let me tell you why it's good. Because at first it's just like a shuffle draw 5. It's not. It's a little bit stronger than that, and by a little bit I mean like a bunch stronger, because being able to draw into only new cards is very strong. Because by the time you're done playing out your hand, you usually are not looking to draw those combo pieces back. Now, or drawing those pieces back. Now, there are going to be some situations where you want to draw maybe 2 custom catchers or something like that. With a shuffle draw 5, it's most likely not going to happen anyways. But that aside, being like, there's going to be small situations where you're going to want to do more than just you're going to want to draw those cards back. But in most scenarios, you're going to play all the cards in your hand that are playable. The rest of your cards are usually not playable. You put them to the bottom of the deck, and then you draw 5 fresh cards, which is really, really, really strong. And now there's a new Oranguru, which we're not playing in here, but it's something I'm toying around putting in this deck if I can make space for it. Maybe cutting out one of these Marnies or one of the Volkners. I don't really want to cut out these supporters, but Oranguru is really cool because you can take a card from your hand and trade it with the top card of your deck, which means you get to see a +1 card, which is strong, and you get to put that card back, which is helpful for Marnie because that means you get to draw into it, which is good if you're looking for the combo, right? But in most cases, you're probably not going to want to do that, which is why I haven't pulled the plug yet and putting in that Oranguru, nor would I know what to cut for the time being. I probably want to play more games, maybe versus some higher HP Pokemon. I'll probably do this versus a ADP build with Zacian, which is something I've been playing. That should be the next video. I'm waiting for my friend because we're supposed to record that video together. We'll see, though. But that's it. The Marnie is really, really strong. It's also disruptive, right? You're judging your opponent down to 4 in most cases, which is really strong, especially in a deck like this where you want to disrupt your opponent. We're playing 2 Rosa because I'm pretty sure, and I'm 99% sure, that whenever a Pokédoll gets knocked out, since it's a Pokemon, your Rosa is able to work. I don't know why I was telling you. I know that's how it works. I don't know why I'm acting like I don't know that's how that works. But Rosa is really strong because it gets you any trainer, that includes supporters, and all these items we talked about earlier, an energy, and it's like playing Volkner, but you also get a Pokemon as well. And that Pokemon could be Jirachi, Tapu Koko Prism, not the Danny, what's it called? Morpeko, things like that. So obviously it's just like, it's kind of like playing more Volkners, but something has to be knocked out beforehand. But in most cases, one of your dolls or something will be knocked out. Something should be knocked out every turn if your opponent's playing the game right. Well, not necessarily, but you know what I mean. So Rosa is incredibly strong in this deck, but of course you don't want a super high count of Rosa because there will be turns where you can't play them. Volkner is just better in most situations, so that's why you want 4 Volkners. And we're playing 1 Guzmahala. Guzmahala gets you Thunder Mountain, Escape Board, or Counter Gain, and a Recycle Energy. So obviously, super strong card in this deck. We're playing it as a 1-up for the time being. And that's it for the supporters. This deck, as you can tell, is incredibly consistent. That's why we threw in the 2 Pokegears. Now, you could cut the Pokegears. I don't think we've ever used the Pokegears in our testing. You are essentially playing 4 draw supporters and 6 tutor cards, and the Guzma Hollow, which is also a tutor card. So I guess 7 tutor cards. So you're playing a lot of supporters. You can maybe make space by cutting out the Pokegears, but I want to test that first before I do and before I make any dedicated decisions. As far as the energies go, 8 energies, 8 lighting energies, and 2 recycles. This is prevent prizing. 8 energies feels like it's enough because we're able to tutor them in most situations, or we can just draw into them raw. So I do like the 8 energies. I do like the 2 recycles. And that's the deck. Now, I'm a huge fan. I didn't think I was going to like this deck as much as I did because I've never been a huge fan of hit and run, but maybe it's because I have this affinity for Morpeko. I think Morpeko is such a cool Pokemon, even though it's just a tube. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen Morpeko's model, but he's just a tube. He's just like a minion, but he's more of a mouse. He looks like a minion, but he's more of a mouse, or I guess a hamster because he's running in a wheel. But anyways, that's the sword. That's our first of our Sword and Shield deck profiles. I'm not going to cover the Bucephalon that was in the matchup as well, because Bucephalon, there wasn't too many changes. We put in the new Professor Researches, which is discard draw 7 over the Cynthias, so we can run through our deck faster. I put in Quick Balls over the Cherish Balls and something else, and the Beastite that I used to play. And I put in Custom Catchers over one of our Great Catchers. We still play 1 Great Catcher, but we play 4 Custom Catchers, 1 Great Catcher, and I cut out some other stuff. Just general, like, the niceties. Like, we don't need the... What did I cut? I don't remember. I cut some stuff. I'm not going to go over the Bucephalon build unless you guys really, really want me to. Then I can. I don't mind. But don't forget to like this video if you have not already. Let's get high amounts of likes. The more likes we get, the faster I'm able to upload these videos for you guys. Let me know what matchups you guys want to see next. I'm going to be doing probably more matchups with this Morpeko. I'm going to be doing a lot more casual, just like battles and uploads. Instead of having to build a new deck every day, I might just do this deck versus like another few decks or something like that. Just to kind of like iron out the different matchups that you're going to expect to see, where you're going to win, where you're going to lose, just to decide what cards we want to change. Of course, none of these decks are finals. These are just our first builds after we tested a few times. So I'm excited about it. Let me know what you guys want to see in the comments down below. If you guys want to support the channel and get these deck lists early, you can always go up to Patreon. That's a great way to support me. The videos are up to all people that donate $1 or more. Actually, maybe it's like the $5 tier. I have to double check. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that bell, drop a like. You guys are beautiful people. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.